Caravengers, assemble for another deck guide video on Marvel Snap. This time we are talking about my second Pool 2 deck, which I created, and it's a Spectrum deck, and of course it's ongoing. I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. It's very strong in Pool 2, and you can even play it in Pool 3 early on. So let's dive right into it. Before we take a look at the deck, there's something very important you just need to know. It's that I publish all my decks on snap.fan to keep track of the global performance of the deck, so I can see how you guys perform with the decks I created. And let's take a look, for example, at my Pool 1 deck. This is of course off meta because I love creating off meta decks, and it counters the meta you will encounter in Pool 1. And of course I created a video for this deck, so you can see it on my channel, and I can see here in the global stats how you guys performed with my deck, because I never played this deck again since I entered Pool 2 and in the meantime even Pool 3, so there was no reason for me to play it. It's all you guys, and I can see here that it's at a almost 63% win rate with 1060 net cubes and an average cube rate of almost 1.0, which is amazing. So I know that this deck is working just fine, not only for me, but also for you guys. So there's no copium involved in the decks I create, and I am very critical about how you guys are performing with the decks I create. And there is something very important. I created another off-meta deck in Pool 2. And this deck consists of those cards you can see here. I also created a video for it, but here is the catch. This deck is so off-meta and hard to play that even you guys had a hard time playing it. In 170 games played, it only got a win rate of around 50%. So it's still positive in cube rate, which is a good thing. You don't always need a positive win rate. It's all about the cube rate, but I reckon that like winning games is more fun than losing games, and even though you can be positive on cube rate, even though you lose more games than you win, it's actually more fun winning than losing. So this is why I created another deck in an ongoing theme with Spectrum as finisher, and I'm sure you'll like it because you will definitely be very positive in win rate in Pool 2. Alright, enough about other decks, let's talk about our Spectrum ongoing deck here. And when you select your filter option and choose ongoing, you will quickly notice that there actually aren't that many cards you can choose from with ongoing effects. So it's actually not about which cards you choose, it's more about the basic strategy you choose to play. And this is what I want to talk about with you now. So the basic or core strategy with this deck is to fill only 2 locations. We don't want to spread our cards across 3 locations. So when the game starts, we make out 2 locations which we want to fill and 1 location which we want to leave completely empty. And there are 2 reasons for that. First of all, we have 2 cards in our deck which are perfect for leaving 1 location empty. The first one of those is Warpath, because he is a 4/5 card, but his ongoing effect reads if any of your locations are empty plus 4 power, so he will become a 4/9 card, which is actually very strong. Then our second card here is Klaw. He is a 5/4 card, but his ongoing effect reads the location to the right has plus 6 power. So you can either play Klaw in the 1 location we are filling and buffing the second location we are filling at the same time, or you can play him in the second location we are filling and have him passively buff the third location without even playing a card there. So basically, Klaw is very important at either buffing the 2 locations we are playing in, or passively buff the 3rd location without interrupting the ongoing ability of Warpath here. Because we give 6 power to the 3rd location without playing any cards there, and this is why we don't interrupt the ongoing of Warpath. The second reason why we want to leave one location empty is because we can't effectively fill a 3rd location. So as you can see here, usually we play in turn 4 Warpath, in turn 5 either Iron Man or Klaw, and in turn 6 it's Spectrum. So those cards are pretty much already set on curve, so we only have turn 1, 2 and 3 to play our low cost cards, and those are just enough to fill one location, while those other cards will fill another location. And as a finisher for this deck, we play Spectrum. So Spectrum is our only on-reveal card, and it reads, give your ongoing cards +2 power. So it's actually better to have 4 cards in location 1 and 4 cards in location 2 in our best case scenario. So Spectrum can buff 4 cards in one location and 4 cards in another location, so it's +8 for both locations, rather than having our cards spread out over 3 locations and her power also spread out over 3 locations, which makes us pretty weak. So first of all, Klaw and even Warpath won't be that strong if we spread out over 3 locations, and also the power of Spectrum will be spread out over 3 locations, and this usually leads to a situation where we aren't able to win any of those locations. But since this game is about winning 2 of 3 locations, it's much better to focus on 2 of 3 locations and buff all of them with all the power Spectrum can provide, and this actually is a lot. And even though we are focusing only on 2 locations, there are still ways to apply some pressure to the 3rd location, for example with Mr. Fantastic. If we focus on location left and location middle, he will still apply pressure to the right location, even though we don't play cards there because of his effect. Same goes for Klaw. If we focus on location left and location middle, then he will still apply pressure to location right if he's played in the middle, even though we aren't playing any cards on the right location. But of course, if we plan on playing Klaw, we shouldn't play him in the right location because his effect won't work there. The location to the right has +6 power, so if he's played to the right, then his ongoing pretty much isn't active. To keep things short and simple, just like this deck, I won't show you complete matches, but instead short scenes so you can understand how to play this deck. As you can see here, we filled the Nexus and also played some cards into the new location Clintar, which led to some cards merging, and usually I would have played Spectrum to the right, but the left location is Kamartaj, one of the key locations we want to look out for, because it will activate Spectrum twice, so we are guaranteed a victory here. The second key location, of course, is the Onslaught Citadel, which doubles the ongoing effect's power. And we played all our cards in the middle and also applied pressure with Mr. Fantastic to the left and the right location. And because its effect is doubled, our opponent has to play to the left. And usually movement decks play Heimdall, so all the cards will move to the left. So as a basic tip, if you face movement decks, just focus on the middle and the right location, because the right location usually is not very strong with movement decks. Let's talk about Iron Man and Shang-Chi for a moment. So Iron Man is in our deck to guarantee us winning a location by generating a lot of power, because he can double the power we already have in this location. Also, obviously, Iron Man is a very good combination with Spectrum. But there are scenarios in which we want to destroy our opponent's cards instead of buffing our own location. For example, in this scenario, we could have played Ant-Man in the mid location and Iron Man to the right location and would have easily won both. Since we played Shang-Chi, we can also play Armor, which is a 2-drop in the mid location because Shang-Chi costs only 4. So in this scenario, it actually wouldn't have mattered if we played Shang-Chi to the right or if we played Iron Man to the right and either Armor or Ant-Man in the mid location, depending on how much energy we spend. There will be situations like this, however, where we've won the left location and aren't able to contest the right location, so it's all about the middle. And there are 3 Hulks versus our 1 Hulk in the mid lane, and Iron Man, by doubling our power in the mid lane, would not have been able to win this game for us. So it's a good thing that we took Shang-Chi with us instead of Iron Man, so we could win the mid location thanks to Shang-Chi. I hope it's alright that I didn't show you entire matches because it's basically always the same. In the turns 1, 2 and 3 you will play cards consistent of Iron Man, Armor, Colossus, Lizard, Mr. Fantastic, Punisher, Captain America and Cosmo, and in turn 4 you will either play more of those cards or Warpath. In turn 5 you will usually play either Iron Man or Klaw, and in turn 6 you will either play Spectrum or a combination of Klaw and Ant-Man or Iron Man and Ant-Man. Iron Man is generally the I think most consistent option here because he doesn't have any major disadvantages. He works well with Spectrum and also guarantees the win of 1 location. But there are scenarios, as I have shown you, where Shang-Chi is better than Iron Man, and you might consider swapping out Iron Man for Shang-Chi to destroy the enemy location and guarantee a win this way. Alright guys, that's it for me. I try to keep it short and simple, but don't underestimate this deck. It's very strong and very fun to play, focusing only on 2 locations, and I'm sure you will be very successful in Pool 2, and you can also be successful in Pool 3, at least early Pool 3, until you unlock some more cards to buff up this deck even further. If you have any questions, just leave comments down below because I will read every comment and I will reply to every question you have. And also, if you have some tips and tricks and constructive criticism, also leave it in the comments below because I'm sure I and also everyone who reads the comments after you will be happy about additional information. Speaking of additional information, if you look in the info in the description under this video, you will see that I have put some links there which lead to my decks, my cards, and also the statistics of this deck, because you can monitor how this deck works globally in the stats, as I've shown you at the beginning of this video, and also I will monitor how this deck performs, and this will be my last video for Pool 2. So I created a Pool 1 deck, I've created Pool 2 decks, and now I will move on since I already hit, as you can see here, I've hit collection level 811 in the meantime, and I'm now in Pool 3 and having a lot of fun playing my Storm of Doom deck, which I will also show you in upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave thumbs up, comments, and subscribe for more. And I hope I will see you in future videos. Thank you and take care.